But first at 11, state lawmakers are gathering for a special session this week with the goal of lowering property insurance rates. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jade Jarvis, and right now we're hearing from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle who are sharing their reactions to some of the bills on the table. Steve King joins us live from the studio tonight with a closer look at what the state legislature will decide this week and what it will mean for the cost of living here in Florida. Steve?
Jade, will state Republican lawmakers say all of the bills in this week's special session will help drive insurance rates down, but some Democratic lawmakers are not so sure that's the case right now. The state legislature will meet at the state capitol all week to discuss the proposals and possibly sign them into law. I spoke with Republican State Representative Toby Overdorf and Democratic State Senator Lori Berman about this week's special legislative session. Representative Overdorf says these bills will lead to property insurance rates dropping.
It has been rising at an astronomical rate, and many folks out there are hurting. They're making a choice between food and Christmas gifts or paying their homeowner insurance, and that's just not right. So that's why it's so important that we address this immediately.
Senator Berman is not so sure some of the provisions in the first bill of the upcoming special session are the answer.
We need to do something. We are in crisis mode right now. People cannot afford their property insurance. They're continuing to get rate increases on property insurance. So we do need to look at this. I'm not sure that this is going to be the solution.
The first bill has several parts, including putting another $2 billion into the state's temporary reinsurance fund. The second bill provides tax rebates for areas where catastrophic storms like Hurricanes Ian and Nicole make homes unlivable, which as of now, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say they support.
You have some people right now in Sanibel or over in Fort Myers that the home is literally gone, yet they're still paying property taxes on a home that is not there. And we just felt that was not appropriate and therefore needed to be addressed.
Certainly the people whose homes have been uninhabitable should not have to pay property taxes. So I'm very happy to see that and that we're putting that in place.
And the third bill would provide up to a 50% credit for SunPass or other electronic prepaid toll users who use a toll road at least 35 times per month. For that bill, there is some disagreement already.
It just gives money back to the residents of the state of Florida, and it is only for residents.
Now they say there's about 750,000 people who would qualify, which is a pretty significant number. Remember, we have, over 20 million people who live in Florida. So I'd like to maybe look at something where we can benefit every Floridian.
Now, lawmakers begin discussing the bills tomorrow morning, and if passed, the new laws would go into effect immediately.